climate emergency is here and it's real, and we need to be pulling every lever we can.
It is all about local issues.
It's easy to sit at home and say people are not doing anything, but they are. There's a lot going on in this community.
I think it's reassuring, to be honest, to see the start of something important.
It's not a tick box, it's a conversation.
Local people are massively passionate about climate change and making a difference in their community.
They are making a difference. It's great.
This gives a framework to engage with their community.
Research has shown that local authorities and their partnerships can influence about 1/3 of emissions in the UK. So what we've seen is local authorities are often leading the way when it comes to net zero targets. We also see that the public think that local authorities are best placed to tackle climate change. Local authorities simply can't reduce emissions in the way that they need to hit their targets without people. So in order to do that, you need to get people on board, and how do you do that? What we find is people tend not to like to be told what to do. Actually, if we're looking at how to make real change to get people on board, to make them feel like they have a stake in it, they need to be involved in the decision making. They have to be able to share, they have to be able to deliberate, they have to come up with their own solutions, and that has to be then actively reflected in decision making. And that's the way you get people on board, and that's the way you make change. We want to support more local authorities to create ambitious climate policy that works for the local authorities themselves, that works for people, that works for communities and works for the planet. What we see from doing meaningful public engagement is actually what it does is it brings people together. That helps build trust between residents and local authorities. By involving members of the public from the start, you're more likely to create policy that achieves public buy-in right from the beginning. The Local Climate Engagement Programme is an initiative to support local authorities to do good quality, meaningful engagement on a local level on climate.
Everyone is beginning to realise the importance of climate and our environment. Now it's about taking action, and we need to take action quickly, but together.
I'm very interested in seeing the councils engage more with their communities and try to seed community action autonomously from what they're doing themselves.
This gives a framework to engage with their community, and same thing vice versa. This wouldn't have happened unless we'd had the training.
The programme has given local authorities a different lens to look at public engagement. I think a lot of what local authorities do when it comes to engagement traditionally is formal consultations. So it's about having that different way of thinking about engagement. It's about giving them essentially a toolbox of different approaches and a framework of how to think about planning engagement in a meaningful way.
This project is quite unique because it's bringing together that hyper-local with that kind of strategic overview. So it's about where someone lives, but it's also about the climate on a much larger scale.
What we want to see at the end of the day is more local areas being able to create climate policy that works really well for them and their communities and responds to those community needs.
This is groundbreaking, which is exciting.